Good morning, Paul Georgie from Allendale. It's March 27th, Tuesday morning. Well, the things that we got to talk about today is probably going to be the same thing we're going to talk about for a few more days. Is the USDA report on Friday morning. Trade is adjusting, trying to get positioned going into that report, as there is a high probability of having volatile prices after that report. Rich Nelson in our office here did a study yesterday, and the last three quarterly reports that the USDA has put out, we've had an average down move in corn of about 37 cents. So expect some volatility, and that's why we're seeing a lot of spreading action take place here in the markets in the last several days, and expect to continue. The soybean market continues to work higher, and mainly because of reports out of South America. Agencies, government analysts are putting and continuing to lower the soybean crop in Brazil and in Argentina. And that's providing some support because the traders are feeling that, well, if the Brazil is not producing it, then the trade is going to have to come to the U.S. to buy grain, especially China buying soybeans. Now, we haven't heard any of these, haven't got any confirmation on any sales to China, but that's the mentality, and that's what's driving the market higher here in the soybean complex. There's a big adjustment between May corn and December corn, and that spread continues to chop around and continue to widen in most cases. As it's expected, the U.S. farmers will plant more corn. Trade average is somewhere around 94.8 million acres. Allendale's was 95 million acres. And expect, with the good weather that we're seeing and the early planting possibilities, we could even see more acres than that, as the farmer is, most of the time, would prefer to plant corn. And that's a big number that we're going to be waiting for on Friday morning as well, the prospective planting number put out by USDA. Some of the other fundamental news that's providing support to the grain markets is Dr. Bernanke, Fed chairman, said yesterday in a speech that and gave an indication that maybe, if necessary, there would be a QE3, and that was enough to get the trade excited and get some buying in here because of potential inflation. Now, the Fed governors, many of them have got speeches that they're going to give here today. That'll be watched very closely and could impact the market as we go through the session here today. Another supportive factor is the dry conditions that we're seeing in the EU. The wheat prices in Paris is actually down a little bit here this morning. However, yesterday we've seen a lot of strength and some carryover strength here in the U.S. wheat markets because of that. The wheat's coming out of dormancy, very dry in those areas, and and no rain is expected actually for the next 10 to 12 days. So that is providing some underlying support to the wheat complex, and in general providing support to grain prices. Again, as we go into this Friday's report, we're going to have some very choppy markets and some spread adjusting from time to time as the sessions go along. So stay in touch with Allendale's research and Allendale representatives, and we'll help you work through some of the strategies that are necessary to go into this report and not create too much risk for yourself. In the livestock complex, beef prices continue to slide. Choice down 66 yesterday. Select was down only 1 cent. Pork cutout values were up 15 cents yesterday. So we're seeing some competition between meats at the retail counter, and I think we're still struggling to try to move beef at the retail counter. And a lot of that's coming from the news stories that we continually hear about gas prices continuing to go higher. Today, Chicago TV had $4.89 as gas prices moved higher in the Chicago area. So those numbers continue to cause the retail consumer to back away from buying meat, and that's the reason we're struggling with fed cattle prices at this time. So another thing you need to watch, technically, we had an inside day yesterday in the livestock and the hogs and cattle. Key there is going to be Friday's low. If we take out Friday's low, I would believe that we're going to see some more selling pressure, as likely to see a bunch of stops underneath that area. However, this market is extremely oversold, which could give us a nice rally in here to relieve some of this oversold condition. So stay in touch with the Allendale representative. You can reach us here at the main office at 800-262-7538. We wish everybody a very successful trading day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Thank you.